Welcome to Talking Stations. Today is Thursday the 19th. I'm Richman, your host, with Xiao.
Hello, hello.
Today, news on the Alliance Tournament and its rosters, its brackets, its developments. A wormhole group on fire. Good, not bad. And something I've observed that I'm going to personally report, where the bubble provides. Well, let's start off with news on the Alliance Tournament. It is what, well, I'm looking forward to, and I have to say, I did apply to be cast as part of the crew, but sadly, I didn't make the cut. I got the email back. I need more experience, that type of stuff. But I do know that one of our past guests, Black Bar Pirate, did make it to the next stage interview. So I wish him the best. I'd like to see him commentate. But with the Alliance Tournament, the stream and the brackets they'll be streamed tomorrow on the CCP channel at 17:30 Eve time. For those of us in England, that'll be an hour ahead, 6:30, and for those in other countries, start deducing times. That'll be, I think, 12:30 for East Coast and a bit earlier for those in the West Coast. They'll be discussing the brackets, the draw seed positions, and tallying up all the teams. This tournament, we have 75 teams. One additional team just managed to get in by the skin of their teeth with some flex hiccup. But they did get in. With this in mind, there were some further clarification. Well, there are some clarifications with certain players being able to be in the tournament and such. These have been confirmed. Kadesh, a priestess who was previously convicted of running 2 Alliance tournament teams at once, his ban is no longer there. He'll be able to compete again. He's also the developer of the Python tool. And, well, this is going to be a tournament to look out for. There's going to be a lot of returning players, 75 teams. There's going to be a lot of action and mayhem for it.
Yep. So Kadesh, I think that's his name. I think he was accused of collusion. And CCP made it very clear on this forum that collusion is one of the most egregious rules violation for the Alliance tournament. So, and then with those 2 bans that are lifting, CCP also mentioned that this is not a message that's sending out to people that it is okay to break those rules. It's not 100% not okay to do that. It's just those things are things in the past, and they want to move on to have a more inclusive Alliance tournament, I think.
Absolutely. I think if anybody deserved to be exonerated after all these years, it would be Kadesh. He's a fantastic player, and the tool that a lot of us use that apparently you need 3 weeks of training for if you want to join the Test EDFC program. Don't quote me on that. That was what I was told. But the Python tool is developed and maintained by him.
Yeah, so for people just don't know what the Python tool is, so it's a tool that you can use to basically simulate all kinds of modules on your ships with implants, with weather effects in the abyss, and how the weather effect will output the attributes of those modules, of those missiles, of those guns. And so it's basically a really useful tool for people who like to do theory craft, or for FCs who want to come up with new doctrines and see how they will play out.
I'll pull up my Python tool and I'll show off some of the details about it as soon as the damn thing opens. Unfortunately, it isn't opening, so I'll put up a screenshot to show people what it's like there. The Python tool will allow you to pull out fittings, different types of ships, and you can simulate fitting them. And you can simulate how they would fit under your character, which you can link, or a character with perfect 5 skills. And it would allow you to simulate how much health it has, what modules you have left, all these things on in the different bars on the one surrounded in orange here with this labeled 6. This is really useful for, well, pretty much everybody. This gives you an idea of what your ship can do and what the stats are without you having to, say, log on to CC, where things are not always functional and you might not have everything perfectly synced. It'll allow you to simulate, say, how much health you have with certain implants or with certain skills, and it's used by FCs, it's used by fleet commanders, it's used by small gangers such as myself. It's generally used by lots of people who want to push their EVE ship limits to the maximum. But with that, is there anything else we should cover for the Alliance tournament?
So I think we only mentioned one band that's lifting, so the other one is the Alliance Code. So Code Alliance, a lot of people may know them as the high-sec suicide ganking alliance. So they also had a ban on them, I think, for a few years. Let me look at the number. It's
2014.
7 years. So over the last 7 years. So much of the leadership. So the reason why this band is going away is because their leader has moved on to another group. So I think a lot of those bands were associated with the leader of that alliance. And now since the alliance leader is gone, then therefore the ban that they think it's time to be lifted. So therefore, CCP is allowing them to complete to be able to compete in Alliance Tournament 17 and beyond.
Well, to conclude this, those who have applied for commentary positions or such in the Alliance tournament, they will have received their emails now. And if you did get in, great, you'll be having an interview sometime soon. If you didn't get in, you get an email telling you didn't get in. I wish those who have applied and have gotten the next set of emails the best of luck. Apparently this Alliance tournament is fiercely competitive with a lot of returning commentators fighting for very few positions. And on to today. A group I'm quite familiar with, and I'm I'd like to say I'm friendly with. I think King is a great guy. Odin's Call is absolutely on fire with a Double Rorqual event. One of them, based on only 23,000 damage, and their location in a rather dreary place in Syndicate. And the rather... Are you seeing this fit, Shen?
Yep. So, I mean, as a Rorqual pilot, I would say this is one of the worst fit I've ever looked at on a Rorqual. First of all, why is it kind of not good? I would say is if you look at the mid-slots, there's a capital hull repair. So for people who don't know, hull repair is one of the least used item because it uses so much capacitor and doesn't give that much better result compared to other things. So rarely anyone use it. And also you see all in the mid slots is supposed to fit for tank, but they fit it for all drone navigation computer. The reason why they fit it is probably for the speed of those mining drones, which will make it faster for them to go back and forth, which in turn give you more efficiency or better yield in some way. But I think with this fit, generally speaking, I think he wants to cloak up, right, with a cloak in the high slot, that so whenever there are people coming, he can cloak up, and then when people are gone from his system, he can just decloak and then try to mine again. But unfortunately, in this case, that Odin's Call caught him, I think, in his siege cycle, so he couldn't cloak, and therefore he was caught.
That is a very, very sad-looking Rorqual. But that's not the only one that was killed today. At least they killed a Goonswarm Federation Rorqual, and it's not mining fit. What is this fit? It's hull-less. It's got triple cargo.
Before we move on to the previous one, so for this one, the one that you showed before, the one, so this one, if you look at the damage, right, there's only one Varker that's dealt about 13,000 damage and another Nightmare about 8,000. Why is it so low, right? Some people ask, a Rorqual can tank at least 1 million EHP, right? That's what you that's the amount of HP you see on a Rorqual. And the shield and the armor you see reinforced bulkhead, right? So those things will tend to give a lot of EHP to the ships and even just normal hit points. The reason being, so when the Rorqual pilot saw those people tackled him, the Rorqual started to self-destruct. Yes, you heard me right. So it was instant panic and instant self-destruct from the Rorqual. And then that's how it ended up with, only like a Vargur did a little bit of damage, but that's it.
Oh, it's abysmal. Personally, I wouldn't have self-destructed at all. 12 points. I care too much about my Zekiel points. No, I don't.
I mean, Zekiel point is Zekiel point. but also, there's always gonna be hope, right? You have a panic button, right? You have invulnerability for about 5 minutes. Just try to get help.
I don't think he could have had much of a chance. The Aliancee was in Vega, living in Syndicate. I don't think they are able to form a proper Rorqual save fleet, particularly in somewhere as remote as Syndicate.
You see, and then there's a question.
Odin's.
Yeah, there's another question. Why would you use a Rorqual when you don't have the protection, right?
Somebody's got to mine those rocks. It pays to be a winner. Not in this case. This guy didn't win in this case. But onto the second Rorqual. Do you have any idea why this Rorqual is fit this way, Shen? Because I do not fly Rorquals.
So let me see. Let me guess. Okay, so this is a pure speculation at this point. So he has smart bombs and I think this is a salvage one that you use for salvage, since you have 2 salvagers, right, at the top slot. And you have the problem is this thing is tanked for EHP, I think, but also some smart bombs in the high slot and cargo expander in the low slot, which is I couldn't think about anything that you would use this thing for. Maybe it's for transporting mining ships.
There's got to be more efficient ways. Keep Star Core theft, maybe? No, it can't be that.
No. If you look at the there's no rigs on it. If it's Keepstar, it should have some like cargo expander rigs, I think.
Well, this will remain a mystery to me, but well, good on Odin's for a double event. And not only did they achieve this double event, they caught a Nyx in Great Wildlands, of all places, on this day as well.
Yeah, so this is the thing with wormhole groups, right? So since they have wormholes that's able to open up anywhere, basically, so they can hunt this hour they can hunt in Great Wildland, the next hour they can hunt in Syndicate, right? If you look at the map, those things are basically across the universe, right? So that's the beauty of wormhole, I would say.
I'm a bit puzzled. All the way in Great Wildland. What goes on in Great Wildlands? Nothing, as far as I'm aware. It's one of the worst Nullsec regions in the game. I think it might be the worst one. On par with Providence in terms of just how bad it is. Who would want to live there?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, Great Wildland, as its name states, right? It's like wildland. Almost nobody lives there, right? Yeah. And I think this Nyx, if you screw up to its location, I think it's related to maybe for people who. So maybe that's a station. I would say it got caught in front of a station. That's my guess.
I have no idea.
This is not a transport fit as well. So this is more like a ratting fit you will see normally. If it's transport fit, then in low side you have inertial stabilizers, experimental hypervelocity, or the warp accelerator thing. And in the mid slot, you have more prod mods and one and things like that. You have more cap recharger as well in your mid slot and low slots. But this thing is 100% meant for, I think, ratting.
Surely they'd have hyperspatials for ratting. Oh well. But all of these kills were achieved by Odin's Call, which I have to say, despite just how destitute some of the PvP groups are with the whole changes to Surgical Strike, the changes to Scarcity, and the changes recently, which have actually decimated quite a few wormhole groups, to my knowledge. Odin's Call is survived and is very strong.
Wait. So we got information from chat. So someone saying he was bashing the structure in Nyx without any support. Yeah.
You got to be careful with those. Yeah, I have to say, Odin's Call is on fire. I'm not sure about their recruitment right now. It's usually been sporadic, and well, what an event for them. I wish King, their leader, the best. Now, there is something I did observe, which I think you're going to have a joy with, Shen, because you're in Mangoes, and Mangoes opposes Fraternity. Have you heard of this person right here called Karen?
No.
Well,
I'll be honest. I haven't looked into Fraternity that much. Like, we just constantly fight.
I noticed him because I would go around and I would set up bubbles in Fraternity space or anywhere space that I would roam, but particularly Fraternity space because it's closeness to Jita. And I observed this guy. I almost lost an interceptor trying to kill his Firetail, and then I thought it just wasn't worth it. What is he doing sitting there with a bubble up in a Firetail, Republic Fleet Firetail, all the time? And now we have an answer. 17 billion Viator with a Rupture and his ult and a Purifier. Just sitting there, camping a bubble in P3. And 3 days ago, yeah. Fed Navy Comet, Purifier, P3N. And when I were earlier a few months ago, 70 billion Prowler, sitting there in an Arbitrator. 3 months ago, same thing. So, Shen, I know you like to hoard a lot of Visc. I know you like to crab. I know you don't like to PvP. Have you considered doing the bubble provides instead of your crabbing?
So there's something in Nullsec we call the I don't know if there's a name for it, but it's basically a bait that you set up with T1 industrials. So what you do, this is a common thing, I think. You just there's an industrial ship sitting on a gate doing nothing. It's gonna jump the gate at the same time with you, and then it's gonna try to align out to a structure, and you see it, you tackle it, and then let's say if you're in a low key or something that's kind of expensive, right? And you tackle it, and then it's not moving, right? Because it's trying to align to some place, but it got pointed by you, so there's nothing you can do. And what it's trying to do is trying to lock you, and it will soon, I think after 30 seconds, because the scan resolution on the industrial ship is really bad. So after 30 seconds, you will see yourself getting scrammed and webbed, and there's industrial signal lit up and jump through 2 other Black Ops. And you're basically get instant killed by them. And they will warp out right away.
Well,
so there are lots of bait and stuff like that that's happening in Nullsec.
But the thing is, even if they did bait out this guy, what would they get if they baited out his?
This is just a bubble provides.
Yeah, this is bubble provides, and I noticed this guy because he picked up the 70 billion ISK Prowler, which I've accidentally just closed. He picked off the 70 billion ISK Prowler before, and
yeah, so
today the 17 billion ISK Blockade Runner.
Yeah, so with this kind of thing, some things that I will say a tip for everyone who are in similar situations. What you do is if you see someone, let's say this is your system, your home, but you see someone in local that you don't know of, but you're in an expensive ship like this, and you want to travel through it. What you do is you warp to a Celestial, and then try to warp back to that station, or just try to do a descan, right? What's on the gate, right? If the gate is clear, then you can move on to the gate. But if it's not clear, then maybe it's a better idea to just stock up or to cloak up until that person is gone, and then keep moving, because you don't know what's there. There may be a cloaked marauder, there may be a cloaked interceptor, maybe just a T1 frigate, but you never know what's there. So be prepared.
I think, well, too many people are just warping to gates these days, and they don't scout it at all. They don't have a ping on the gate. They don't have somebody watch for them. I knew this well when I flew with Plucky Adventurers a few months ago. Yeah, just around a few months ago. And we would just sit in the EC-TAC P8R system on the Torinos gate, and people would warp Black Ops ships down without scouting it. They would warp Sharons down. They would warp, freighters. All sorts of things landed in a bubble and just died because nobody scouted them. Everybody just... Oh, it just...
Okay, I would say a Black Ops ship shouldn't have that problem. When you have a jump drive, use it. It's there for a reason. Use it. And things like Black Ops and Capital, those things should never take gates. If it's not, let's say, a regional gate, right, that travels from region to region, those kind of stuff, yeah, maybe it's okay since it travels such a great distance. Just gate once, and then you can jump after that. But just on a normal day, don't take gates when you have a jump drive.
Well, it is a regional gate. I think clearly the P3 to Obey gate, that is also a regional one because it's nullsec into K-space lowsec.
So regional gate, if you open up Downland, you will see. So regional gate is, let's say, we have one from period basis, from Paragon Soul to period basis that across a giant gap for capitals. Those kind of capital jump gap gate, what we call it.
Those
kind of regional gates.
I see what you mean now by regional gates. The massive line across. Okay, that makes more sense. Now, since you're eternally at war against Fraternity, do you think you're going to do this?
Maybe someone else in my alliance will.
Do you know if this guy's in your alliance?
No, maybe people use their out of alliance out or stuff like that. I can't tell by that, but from as far as I know, no.
Alrighty. Well, is there anything else that we should cover? Because I think it's been a fairly quiet day. Oh, there is something that I will need to cover.
We don't know if it's public, right? Yeah, I think that's all. Right? Do you have anything else, Rich?
Aside from Citadels being destroyed, no, I think the day's been rather quiet today. Yeah, I think the day's been rather quiet. It is good to see that there is news going on for the Alliance tournament, and tomorrow at 17:30, that is 5:30 in the afternoon Eve time, just for your location, there will be a stream on the CCP channel for more details on the Alliance tournament. They'll talk about brackets, they'll talk about draw seed positions. I am looking forward to see when Casper24 and his team are going to be, well, where they're going to be placed, and start wagering, not exactly bets, but predictions on what the Alliance tournament results are going to be. But I believe that's everything for today on Talking in Stations. I'm Richman, your host, and here with me was Shen as my wingman.
Yep. See you guys.
Take care, everyone.